New York Times polling shows a tight race between Sanders and Buttigieg in New Hampshire. Bernie Sanders and Pete Buttigieg are the clear Democratic frontrunners in New Hampshire, but they command two very different coalitions entering the primary on Tuesday. Let's go live now to Joe Siracusa. He's a professor at RMIT. Joe, good to see you once again. Where is Joe Biden in all of this?
Well, Joe Biden is lagging fourth or fifth. Look, it hasn't taken off for his campaign. In fact, I gather over the weekend that a number of the people on his staff have attributed their comments or their criticism to the New York Times and others. But, you know, as soon as you start putting your name out there, it means you're looking for a new job. So the Biden thing hasn't taken off. Look, I'd like to say maybe he's too old or we're too familiar with him. But then again, Senator Sanders is 78 years old, a Democratic socialist from the state of Vermont. And the second guy on his heels is a 38-year-old mayor from South Bend, Indiana, which is better known for its football teams at Notre Dame. I mean, this is a very odd race. And I think the Democratic Party has sort of fallen over itself trying to figure out how to survive the tsunami that was Donald Trump over the last week. Trump has had an amazing week with the acquittal. He's had an amazing week locking down the Republican Party. I think the Gallup Poll shows he has 90% support, and that started out in 2015. He only had 26% when people started taking him seriously, and now he's starting to take revenge on the people who aimed at him, which is, if you're going to go after a president, you only get one shot. You don't get two shots.
Yeah, and so certainly he's using his newfound power, really, hasn't he? He was also he was always very powerful in Washington, but this acquittal seems to have emboldened him even further. Well,
yeah, he's undefeated now. I mean, in terms of he's sort of Teflon in one sense. Keep in mind, this man is in the wrestling Hall of Fame. There's a WWE Hall of Fame, and he's combined all of his adult life of the ancient arts, the ancient Colosseum arts of spectacle from wrestling and from politics, and he's commanded the stage the last year. I mean, he's made everyone else look ridiculous. Now, look, I think the Democrats made a mistake going after him on these particular articles of impeachment. They were very, very weak. I mean, even people can understand that when someone's trying to spill you from an office based on a whistleblower. I mean, whistleblowers are sometimes lauded or lionized, like Daniel Ellsberg when I was younger, and then later on they were demonized, like Julian Assange and Ed Snowden. So do you trust the whistleblower? Well, it all depends what the crime is. And the crime is he was rattling the cage of the Ukrainian president to do him a domestic favor or run a domestic errand. This is not impeachable by most standards. The Democrats went full throttle, and they lost. So I think the Democrats are going to be scrambling to figure out what to do next. And, of course, the destruction of those results in Iowa, and, of course, Iowa was supposed to narrow the field. After Iowa, no one was narrowed. They all went into New Hampshire, so everybody got a free pass. So much for Iowa as the front runner or the bellwether of what's going to happen next. But look, I think Trump is going to consolidate his power. He's going to get rid of his enemies, and he's going to try to target people who opposed him during the trial. The other thing, too, is that the United States, that he's going to take credit for, the United States has been responding very well to this coronavirus, which is bringing down China in terms of the economy. People forget that while this virus is around, or viruses like this are around, that great nations and great cities are brought to their knees. Their commerce, their finance, their education, billions and billions of dollars of money is lost because things are not happening. And this also tells me, as an expert in weapons of mass destruction, the efforts or the effect of biological weapons in the war of the future would be devastating because it would paralyze nations. All of this is connected. And right now, Trump's looking pretty good. Australia's looking pretty good. And, it could go sideways very quickly. But the Chinese are out of control in this sense that President Xi has not been seen. And when you're the head of a large country like that, everybody's going to blame you for the failure the same way you want everyone to attribute success to you. So he's watching from the sidelines to see how bad this is going to be.
Well, spot on, Joe. It's already worse than the SARS epidemic in 2002. Great to see you once again this morning. We'll have to leave it there. See you soon.
Okay.